my family started befriending these guys, it wasn't that difficult after all. In fact, it happened quite naturally.
My Singaporean friend first, the Sophie.
My husband and I, we attended my friend Ambu's wedding in India. While we were there, we also took the opportunity to visit our friend Senthil and his family.
My father and mother see the Sophie, also very happy.
We might just attend Senthil's wedding. We thought it would be helpful if the foreign workers picked up at least simple everyday English. Hello everyone, my name is Hwee. Apart from having an impactful day job, I'm a sometimes frazzled mom of 2 boys, one's 10 and the other's 8. Together with my husband, we lead a simple life. We are the sort who don't usually eat out on weekends or every day for that matter. We bring our boys to the parks for fun and recreation. We go to church on Sundays and we catch the occasional movie. We are common folks who enjoy the simple pleasures of life and in no way spectacular. But people, however, are always looking for the spectacular. The more exciting the story, idea, or strategy is, the better. As such, they think that to make a difference in this world or to stand out, you've got to do it bigger, better, or more brilliantly. Now, while that's true, I think there's power in the ordinary. Now, what do you think of when I talk about foreign workers? The guys who build our houses. They repair our roads, they sit on grass patches outside our MRT stations and throng our malls on weekends. Now, I want to confess that I used to think very little of foreign workers. I was very wary of them owing to the many horror stories I heard. Whether it was their uncouth ways, drunken brawls, petty crimes, or worse, sexual assault on women. My attitude was this: as long as they're here to do their jobs, fine. Just don't create trouble and please stay far, far away from me. But then one day, something changed. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is my friend, Ambu. Okay, and this is a picture of us at his wedding in April 2014. Ambu is one of those foreign worker friends that I spoke of earlier. Yet he is none of those things I just mentioned. The question is, how did I end up attending the wedding of a foreign worker? The answer is simple. Ambu is my friend. Earlier I said that I used to think very little of foreign workers. I can tell you this, I would pass them by on the road and literally not see them. Somehow they tend to blend into the landscape until one day, as I read something in the Straits Times that really disturbed me greatly. And it was this article on an injured foreign worker who was left to die in an abandoned drain by his contractor. And although I didn't care much about foreign workers back then, as a Christian, I was both saddened, and deeply shocked by what I read. I couldn't imagine that this could actually happen. I mean, this was someone's son, husband, father, brother. He left his home country to work here in Singapore, to provide a better life, a better future for his family members. But look where it got him, and at that point in my life, my Christian faith started to change my heart, towards the poor and the marginalized people. Instead of being indifferent, the gospel taught me to be compassionate. I really have to say this. Just as Jesus, has shown me such grace and compassion, through his work at the cross, I felt that I needed to show the same to others too. Then 2 things dawned on me. Firstly, while I don't do bad things to foreign workers, I think I'm just as guilty, by ignoring them and pretending that they don't exist. Now, where's the grace in that? Secondly, I'm actually at heart no different from these people. They, like me, have hopes and dreams. They, like me, have real needs. Though our needs may differ, somewhat. Of course, we come from different social status, family backgrounds, culture, etc. But the truth is, we all have feelings. We all make mistakes. We all need acceptance too. And that change of heart changed me completely and eventually led me to befriend Ambu. Now, how that happened was actually quite simple. One night, I remember my spouse and I, we just came back from work. We parked our car in a housing estate car park. And we saw this Indian man washing cars. And with the intention of wanting to bless this man with extra income, we decided to approach Ambu. And the first thing we did when we came to Ambu was simply smile, and ask, "What's your name? How long have you been washing cars? How much do you charge for washing cars?" Questions like this. How long have you been working here in Singapore? Now, Ambu answered us as best he could with a smile too. I think it all happened naturally. And I can tell you he was so happy when we told him that we are going to engage his services. From then on, every time when we bump into Ambu at a car park, we would make small talk with him, find out a little bit more about his work, about his family. And we also made sure that our sons, address him as Uncle Ambu, when talking to him. At times, we even got Uncle Ambu snacks, and food stuff, just to show him our appreciation for serving us. I believe that made Ambu very comfortable with us, and we ourselves were very blessed, very warmed by this simple, hardworking, and friendly man. I guess that was why, we decided to invite him over to our place for a meal some months later. And it was the first time Ambu ever set foot in a Singaporean friend's home. And he felt so honored. From that one meal, it extended to several more. One time, or rather I would say twice, when we were eating out, Ambu actually offered to pay for our whole family. And he did. We were kind of surprised, but we let him because he insisted on paying for us. And each meal we had together was an opportunity for us, to just get to know each other better. And then one night, when Ambu was over at our place for supper, he did the unexpected. What he did was, he got my spouse and I to stand side by side. And before we knew it, Ambu bent down, touched our feet, as a mark of respect. That really shocked the two of us, my husband and I, but we were very, very touched. And from then on, we knew that our friendship with this man was sealed. So naturally, when Ambu told us that he was going to get married and he invited us to go, we promised him, yes, Ambu, we will go, and we really did. And that was in April 2014. Now, being friends with Ambu, okay, this is a picture of us at Christmas party. Being friends with Ambu, really helped me to want to better the lives of foreign workers. While I cannot pay for their heavy debts, sad to say, but I really can't afford to pay for their heavy debts. And I can't help them fight for higher pay or, better welfare benefits for that matter. I realized there's another simpler or more ordinary, but just as powerful way. What hit me was the possibility of teaching these foreign workers to pick up simple conversational English. I think that would help them greatly, in their workplaces. Then they would be able to better understand work instructions and work safety rules better. And workplace accidents could be lessened as a result. In addition, they would also better, be able to communicate with their bosses, with other workers, from other countries and Singaporeans for that matter. Of course, buying stuff, going about their daily lives will be so much simpler. So Ambu actually did this. He encouraged me, to explore this possibility with his dormitory manager. And this I did, together with 2 local friends of mine. And the rest, as they say, is history. The dormitory management in Yishun welcomed us to conduct English classes there, together with a small group of volunteers. So you see some of these pictures here, and it was in one of these classes that we met Senthil. Now, Senthil is the guy you saw in the video earlier. And guess what? We also attended his wedding, in February 4th, 2015. Somehow we have a knack of attending foreign worker friends' weddings. But I can tell you, the best thing, about attending our friends' weddings is this. We get to see, we get to meet their family members and fellow villagers, and we get to see for ourselves what their lives are like back home. And we also realize for ourselves, these foreign workers are real people, with their own families and with their own homes, and they are just like you and I. Today, we have been at this work for about 3 to 4 years now, and I'm glad to share with you that we have a growing group of foreign worker friends, and we also am encouraged that we are seeing a growing group of volunteers come join us. Now, friendship is a powerful thing. It really is a powerful thing. Through it, you will see that, these foreign workers will be able to see Singapore as their second home. And you and I, we get to treat others as equals. Doesn't that make for a better Singapore? Don't you think? But the question is, how do you, go about befriending foreign workers? Well, I have something to share with you, and it's just very 2 simple steps, which I hope to get you started. How many of you remember this movie, Jerry Maguire? I only see a few hands. Maybe it's not your era, but anyway, there is a scene in the movie Jerry Maguire, where the female lead said these very famous words, "You had me at hello." Now, does that sound familiar to you? Yes, right? I'm totally convinced that a smile, and a simple hello, can make a huge difference. Now, I'm not asking you to flirt with foreign workers, All I'm saying is this. I'm really saying is this. A smile and a simple hello, helps break the suspicion we have of one another. It helps puts us at ease with each other. You will be surprised, but this guy so appreciated, when you ask, "What's your name?" How many of us actually bother doing that? When you ask them, "What's your name?" you treat them as individuals within a group, and not just a group of individuals. And we regard them as people with unique identities of their own, and, people worth getting to know. So subsequently, when you ask them things about, where do you work as, what's your family like, how do you find Singapore, etc., etc., they will open up further. But in case it becomes, like an interrogation session, I would advise that you offer bits about yourself too. Tell them, where you stay, what do you work as, I think it really helps breaks the ice. All these are little simple steps to help you get started. And the other thing is this, don't worry, about language barriers. I can tell you many times you can say more with your heart than with your words. Trust me, these guys can pick up from your gesturings and your body language more than anything else, and it works both ways too. And if you keep practicing, some of these things I mentioned earlier, it becomes easier. Make small talk with them. My friends are often tickled when I try to discuss with them about Bollywood movies. They cannot believe that I actually know about Bollywood movies. Or, and I discuss with them about some news from India. At times, we even get them little things, just to bless them. So maybe this is something that you can consider too. Get them a little something, just appreciate them for their labor. Okay, and like I said earlier, if you keep practicing these things, it becomes easier and easier. So start with foreign workers you see near your workplaces or near where you stay. Okay, and when you've gotten the hang of that, you're ready for step 2. Okay, and step 2 is very simply this. Okay, it may sound a bit intimidating to you, but to me it's simply this. Okay, don't just invite the foreign workers into your world. Don't just go into the foreign workers' world, okay? But invite them into your world. I shall say this again. Don't just enter into their worlds, but invite them into your world. Okay, how can you do that? Very simply, invite them home for meals. I can tell you this: home is where one's heart is. When you invite someone to your home, you're inviting them into a place in your heart. It conveys your warm welcome and your acceptance of them. And these guys feel genuinely honored. My family, has invited several foreign worker friends over to our place on a number of occasions. And I remember too, once or twice, the guys came over and they actually brought chickens and curry spices to cook curry for us. Okay, these are just some pictures of them cooking. And why do they do that? I guess it's their way of reciprocating that friendship. And and I can tell you, curry never tasted better. Yeah. I tell you, if you're afraid of inviting them to your home, why not meet them outside? Go for beach outings, or maybe you can actually go to the zoo with them. Okay, so to conclude, I just want to let you know this from experience. It's not hard to make friends with foreign workers. Okay, once your mindset about them changes and your heart to befriend them kicks in, nothing is too difficult. You don't have to do anything spectacular to change someone's life for the better. Sometimes it's just about reaching out to someone and befriending them. You don't have to do it, bigger, better, or more brilliantly. Just be a friend. Okay, and that's the power of the ordinary. Thank you.